Your Honour, the defendant, Brendo, is a liar. In previous statements, he has said that he, quote, loves Death Stranding and won't abandon it for any new games that come out. In addition, 9 days prior to its official release, the defendant, Brendo, purchased Final Fantasy VII in clear violation of his own edict to stay faithful to Death Stranding. The prosecution rests, Your Honour.
May I say something in my defence here? Look, I did admittedly say I would not purchase Final Fantasy VII Remake on launch, and I have been really enjoying Death Stranding. I don't know what came over me. The game came out 9 days early. This is not normal. This is not a normal situation. I can't be held responsible for abandoning a game I love, purchasing a game I didn't really want, and look, it's just one game. It's just one game that I've purchased, and I don't think anybody in their right mind can blame me for purchasing one extra game this week.
Your Honour, I would like to present further evidence. One copy of Resident Evil 3 purchased this week.
Oh, fiddlesticks.
The Gaming Lovers Podcast with Brendo and Jem.
And I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for my own words recorded on this very podcast over the past few weeks. Welcome everyone, episode 101
Dalmatians!
of the Gaming Lovers Podcast. Different franchise.
No Dalmatians?
Not this week.
Aw.
I am Brendo.
I'm Jem.
And we are the Gaming Lovers. We have gotten so many new games in like the past 3-week span, more than usual.
Yes. How many games have you managed to get, especially ones that weren't even supposed to be out yet?
All right, listen here. It is my birthday month.
It's like they knew.
Officially. Nobody can leave their houses. And what better time to play video games? All these things have combined into one big excuse to buy full-priced, brand new launch day titles, but not even launch day titles.
Pre-launch date titles.
Final Fantasy VII Remake is not even out yet. And I've been playing many hours of it. Many hours of it.
You know what I found really funny? Is that when you've been playing it, the trophies pop, but then they won't load later because the game isn't out yet, so it won't let you look at the trophies.
It is so strange. You can't check the trophy list online when my trophy data tries to update to the PlayStation Network. It just glitches out, and there's trophies you've gotten that aren't on our register. So what mischief have you been up to, Mr.
How have
Brendo?
you hacked the system? I must say, Aussies have gotten a little bit of extra special treatment in the past couple of weeks with getting certain games early. So I'm most of the time we kind of get the raw end of the deal and have to wait longer than other countries. So it's kind of nice being on the flip side. So,
yeah, most of the time it's only a week or two or a month at most delay, even with movies, video games.
Oh, movies are the worst, especially big animation films that are supposed to come out like Thanksgiving in America. We get on Boxing Day, more than a month's wait. There is spoilers galore by that point online. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, this it adds a little bit of equilibrium.
Yeah, we are definitely riding this wave of momentum. And by all means, any other game companies, if you are hearing this, feel free to use Australia as your testing ground for your new products as years go on.
Yes, totally. I think people have been pretty good. I haven't seen actually any spoilers online with regards to some of these games that we've gotten early. So, we get the broad stroke of, your ancestors are all convicts, so you can't be trusted because you're criminals.
That's right.
Line is just absolute rubbish, really.
And yet, if anyone is playing Final Fantasy Remake in the world, it is us, and we're doing it legally, not pirating.
No, we're not.
There's no convict activities going on.
Mm-hmm. And this is one of my pet peeves, so I just, sidebar, when it comes to convict history, America, you have no leg to stand on. Because before they were sending convicts to Australia, they were sending them to the United States. Okay. Just in case you forgot that part of your history.
Okay. The last thing we need in this current world climate is to start putting countries against each other, Jess.
Just saying that we have more in common than they realise. Instead of using it as a way to attack us, just to know that we're actually more level, like that's, we share that in common.
We share that in common.
So,
don't worry, America. We do love you. We are all in this together.
Oh my gosh, how many times have you heard that?
It's been on some advertisements, on some radio, on some TV.
Just a few 100 million times.
All right, let's move on. Let's get to what will no doubt be a rather plump and chunky gaming goals, not featuring Death Stranding.
Poor Death Stranding.
I pledged last week I would finish Death Stranding this week.
You're pulling a gem. The amount of times that I've said, I'm going to finish this game, and then don't.
Yes, it's kind of strange to be that. I said on record that Death Stranding was on track to be one of my favourite games of all time.
And you dropped it so fast. You were the epitome of that meme with the boyfriend looking over his shoulder at the other person walking past. And Death Stranding is like, what are you looking at? How dare you?
And I'm like, hey there, Final Fantasy. The thing is, though...
Hey there, Resident Evil 3.
Yeah, okay, well, that birthday month. I'm playing the birthday month card for Resident Evil 3, for starters. The thing is, before we get into the specifics of these games...
Yes.
Final Fantasy VII Remake snuck out early on April Fool's Day. April Fool's Day. Could you have picked a worse day to...
Or a better day.
...pre-launch a game? Because nobody believed it was true.
I think that was with half of the genius.
I woke up bleary-eyed, checked my social media feed. There it is. Final Fantasy VII Remake on sale now. And I had this excited little burst of energy through me, and then I thought, wait a second, this can't be real. No, that's too mean. Why do people make mean April Fool's jokes that get your hopes up?
Honestly, though, there weren't many April Fools this year. There was a shocking lack of them, really. This year's, I think because obviously with the world as it is, was much more subdued. There were very few pranks online.
Yep.
One of the few that I saw was the whole God of War Part 2.
Yes.
Which I was like, oh, that's so cool, and damn you, I wish it was real.
And another thing was that there was a game that's beloved, Quackshot, a DuckTales sort of characters from the old early retro systems, and a prototype, a trailer, a image, I don't know if it was just an image or a video of, Quackshot remastered or whatever it was. And everyone went, yes, we want this. And then they go, ha ha, it's not real. That's not good publicity as a video game making company.
Yes. Unless you're doing something like Goat Simulator, and then everyone's like, oh, I wish this was real, and then it gets made. It would almost be a good way to test a game. And then if it flopped bad, you could be like, oh, it's just April Fool's.
That's right. It was never supposed to be good anyway.
There's your free out right there, developers. But anyway, going back to Final Fantasy VII, people on social media, GameStop in America is known as EB Games here in Australia.
Yeah, but owned by the same parent company.
Just it's like Hungry Jack's and Burger King. They are the same business, but they're just different names.
We are not allowed to have Burger King here because it was a small independent...
That won the case, which is pretty surprising, actually, that they beat a big company like that.
Well, who's the real Burger King? Apparently that one.
Which is kind of awesome. Anyways, so EB Games were the first to kind of put, change all their banners and stuff on Facebook to say Final Fantasy VII out now. And 50% of the comments are just like, haha, good April Fools. And everyone's like, are you sure? I don't believe you. And then we got it quite early in the day. Mm-hmm. So we started posting photos of our copy and saying, it's real, guys. We're holding it, and this isn't Photoshopped. This is legit us with the copy. So it was kind of fun to just see people go from, no, I don't trust you, or haha, funny joke, to, oh my gosh, what?
And more importantly, the people who pre-ordered digital copies still can't play it yet.
Yeah, poor guys.
Why would you pre-order a digital thing this far out? If you're going to do it the 24 hours before the game launches, so you get your little bonuses.
Is there any incentive? I mean, surely if you had exclusive downloads that came with it...
And some do.
...that you can only get from digital and not something that comes from any pre-orders.
And that's it. That's the only
That's
benefit.
the only benefit. And
You pay a premium price for some extra skins or a special outfit or whatever.
yeah.
It's not worth it in my book.
And they usually, like, digital downloads, even before, like, special editions and stuff, cost so much more than physical copies.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't haggle with them. You can't get them to price match like you can in store.
Interesting.
So, it's very rare that we do digital downloads unless there's a good sale on. So I'm so sorry, guys, for all those that are still waiting.
Well, there have been 4 very big, very good, very exciting video games that have come out within the past few weeks, and we have got our hands on them.
Mm-hmm.
This Gaming Goals, 4 major games to get through. So where would we like to start?
Let's start at the very beginning. I feel it's a very good place to start. So let's start with a game that we're both playing and continue the saga that is Animal Crossing. It's been kind of fun watching you get into it because this is your first Animal Crossing, yes?
Correct.
And you keep coming up to me like, did you know that there are rocks that give you coins? And just little things like that are just so cute to me. And other times when you've discovered things that I haven't gotten to yet, or online communities discovering that if they get invited to the right island, they can sell turnips for a lot of money
For a
or
premium.
bells.
And so we have had situations online. The online community is going crazy because
Yes.
nobody can leave their house. They're all just spending all their time on their Animal Crossing islands.
I know, they're way ahead of me.
And turnips can be purchased on Sundays, real life Sundays, and then sold later in the week for varying prices. But if you carry them over to the next Sunday, they rot and they're worth nothing. So every morning and every afternoon on your island, you'll have a different price offered to you for these stupid turnips.
Yep.
And turnip pricing has become more interesting to chart than any stock market in the real world, any Dow
It's
Jones.
less depressing at the moment, that's why.
And so Discord communities are gathering together all the information. Tell us what your turnip price is right now, and whichever one has the highest, there are 2.5 hour waits to visit that
Real
person's
time?
real person, real time, real delays, real queues. Waiting to visit someone's virtual island to sell virtual turnips for virtual money that is bells. Well, I'll tell you what, if the turnip economy continues like this, the bubble's going to burst. Let's put it that way.
I have seen images of other people's islands and stuff, and they already look so much more industrialized. Some people have just got fields of turnips like that they harvest and nothing else. They've gotten rid of almost everything else. They've even kicked off villages so that they can make room for more bell making. I think it really depends on what you get out of this game. If that's your goal, is to make bells and make them fast.
Yeah, I've been playing
Sure.
some Animal Crossing in my downtime when I've been away from the home consoles. And when I started my day one adventure on Animal Crossing New Horizons, I thought, gosh, there's nothing to do in this game. This is so bland. There's just nothing to do. And now I play for 2 hours, feel like I don't even accomplish anything. And I'm like, I need more time. I've done nothing.
I'm still enjoying just the chill factor that I can take my pacing. The only thing is I have a bad habit of logging on quite late because I've still got work to do. I'm one of the rare people that's keeping quite busy at home, actually, trying to help other people adapt to working from home online and doing online streaming and things like that. So I've found I have less free time. So I get on quite late, and then you've got like 10 minutes to quickly try to sell all the stuff before the store closes. Otherwise, you have to put it in the box and wait for the bells the next day.
And
little things like that.
That drop box only gives you 80% of sale value.
Mm.
The raccoons take their little bit off the top, those little rascals.
Yes. So there's a few benefits to being someone who plays during, daylight hours. I kind of hate that you get penalized for being someone that plays late in the evening, especially if you're a shift worker, I'm like, are you punishing me for having a different lifestyle to you? That seems unfair, Animal Crossing. So, yeah, I still haven't come across a tarantula. I have been stung by a scorpion, though, and they are fast.
Well, that's a friendly, G-rated game for everyone. Get stung by the scorpion. I've realised a minor mistake we may have made with our planning of this island.
Really?
Like a desperate high school teenager, I have just settled for whoever threw affection at me. And the first 3 islanders that I met, I said, hey, come live with us. Come live with us. You can only have 10 islanders living on your island, and there's like a range of 400 of them to choose from. And I've just settled for a few. But I do not regret. I do not regret befriending Wade, the cute little penguin.
He's very cute.
He gets so excited. He sees me walking along and he goes, ba-ding! And he runs towards me going, Brendo! And he's like, oh, buddy, come here. Come here, man.
Let me touch the fuzz.
He's a fuzzy little newborn penguin with that weird colour. I love it.
They're very cute when they're like that. I just wish I could change their outfits. A lot of the clothes that the animals on our island are wearing are abysmal.
Well, guess what? If you befriend them enough, you can send them gifts and they will wear whatever you send them.
Yes. Seriously, it's one of those things because after playing Pocket Camp, and when you've got people staying at your camp, you can change what they're wearing. Go wear this, and they'll wear it, and it's good because sometimes the designs they just in clothes that just clash with their character, and it's really jarring. So to be able to kind of fix that, in my mind, it just makes the game more pleasant. So there you go. I'll have to work on those friendships then.
Overall, I'm having a blast with Animal Crossing New Horizons and am wanting to play it more than I expected to. Every day I must log in and get my Nook Miles from the ATM equivalent. I can't remember what the acronym is, the ADBBD? The ABD, Automatic
ABD.
Bell Dispenser, I assume. And the thing is, we've just upgraded residential services today, so it is out of range, and I'm literally at their shack going, let me in! And they won't. I'm going to lose my streak. Upsetting.
Very. So Death Stranding has been completely abandoned this week.
I've snapped the disc in half. I'm not going to need it anymore. It's gone.
How is Final Fantasy VII treating you?
Final Fantasy VII Remake is very enjoyable, and I have still, on the side, been playing, especially the start of Final Fantasy VII Original on my PS Vita. So sort of chart the similarities, the differences, which characters are featured in what degrees. And overall, this will I intend on never giving any major spoilers on this podcast. But I am at a point, 3 hours in, on the PS1 original of Final Fantasy VII. 3 hours. In the remake, I am 8 hours in and about halfway to that point. So
There's a lot more content.
we knew going in, if you didn't have false hope in somebody's stupid theory that the entire game was featured in this remake, we knew the entire game of this version is going to be the city of Midgar, basically. The first quarter, third of the whole game. If someone charged you with taking a movie, a 2-hour movie, we need you to make a 26-episode, 40-minute length each series out of this. You're going to have to stretch that material a bit.
Yep.
And that's pretty much what happens here. It has not been all bad news, though, because that if that's done badly, then the major plot points are all you're really playing for, and everything else is filler. And we don't like filler in video games. We want action, we want fun, we want character development, we want all the good stuff. And minor characters have bigger roles. There's new characters. There's new plot points, new things that happen in this game that don't happen in the original. I won't get into any specifics because the game's not even out yet. But I feel like a reviewer for a website that's got it early. There's no guides. There's no one else's other reviews to lean on. It's all just my experience with nobody else's things.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of interesting and part of the reason why I could not control myself and bought it as soon as I knew it was out, when I didn't actually intend on doing it. But I am enjoying all the things that we thought we would enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
The graphics are freaking beautiful. I can't believe that we have a video game that looks better than the CG movie sequel that Final Fantasy VII actually got, Advent Children. The game looks better than that. Combat-wise is enjoyable. I'm playing on the normal difficulty, not the easy smeezy version, and have died one time so far. I've had one game over, so if you don't do combat correctly, you might fail. The characters, the voices, top-notch. Every character that I've met so far, every main character, there's always like the townsfolk that just say weird lines weirdly, but everyone has something to say.
Mm-hmm.
And most importantly, this game has kids that sound like kids. And that is one of the things I hate the most about video game voice acting, is that the kids never sound like kids.
Mm-hmm.
These kids sound adorable. And multiple characters, multiple kids sound like kids.
That's good.
And there's lots of cats for some reason. That's not a spoiler, I don't think, but there's so many cats. There's one section of the game that's just cats galore, and I don't know what the affection is with all these cats. But, hey, I'm enjoying the gameplay, the graphics, the story, the extra bits. You don't just go from A to B to C, if that's what you did in the original game. We go from A to B to C to D to B to blah, 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 to M, and then we got plot point B, and then we got all the other little things, and instead of just going from mission to mission, you've got the mission before the mission. We're getting stuff for the mission. We're doing this, the way to the mission is now longer. So there's a lot of padding compared to the original, but with the exception of maybe a few side quests, everything has been 2 thumbs up.
So nothing has felt forced.
Nothing has really felt forced. Some of the side quests you get feel like Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Return side quests, and they weren't the best. They're just sort of there to be a side quest.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from that, it's all good. There's music CDs you can collect. That's cool. Little remixes of classic tunes. Just you wait till you hear the Chocobo theme done in hip-hop style. Hot diggity dog.
I did notice in one of your playthroughs that, was it Barrett?
Mm-hmm.
Did the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, which was also something they did with Final Fantasy 15.
Yep.
I was wondering if that was going to make it into this one or not. I'm like, it feels like if they did it again, is that make it no longer special?
Well, it's kind of weird because the guy who does it in Final Fantasy 15 is Prompto. He's goofy,
it suits his
a
character.
bit dorky. He's the sort of person you would expect to do that.
Yep.
Barrett is tough and gruff and manly, and then you win a fight and Barrett, big tough Barrett goes, da, 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 da. It's like, what? Barrett, what are you doing?
A little out of character.
But Barrett has those moments, and one thing I really like,
Mm-hmm.
Cloud. Cloud's character in this game, mwah. His character, his face is awesome. You said last episode officially,
Yes.
he's quite physically attractive. And they have portrayed him with so much depth, obviously by comparison to a blocky polygon model
Yes.
that he was in the PlayStation 1 version. But you can see his face. He has that stony exterior, but you know there's a softness inside. You can see pain in his eyes more than I've seen in any video game character. You know there's something in there that's not quite right. And the adventure to find out what it is has been very enjoyable. Very enjoyable.
Well, it's good. I think getting more character development, more depth, especially to the main character, but also to the side characters, is going to add, I think, more of a connection for gamers, whether they've played it before and, in love with the original, or you've got a lot of brand new gamers and those new to the Final Fantasy world that will use this as their gateway. So having emotional connections, I think, is a powerful tool to get people to stay and then wait for however long it's going to be between this edition and then the next installment that is going to come with the next part of the story.
And that's the biggest concern I have about this game, is that I don't know how they're going to give enough closure to this game, knowing that you're only getting part of the story. This is not a movie where you can have a cliffhanger finish. Oh, what's going to happen in the sequel?
Or like an end of a TV series and come back next season for da-da-da.
Yeah, but I know what's going to happen. I know the major plot points. And I just hope that this is a enjoyable standalone thing, because this isn't just 6 weeks until episode 2 comes out, like A Life is Strange or something. This could be years.
Yeah.
Very much a
Especially
possibility.
with so many games getting delayed due to COVID-19, adding additional delays to games that were scheduled to come out on time already. So who knows what kind of impact that's going to have long term.
So that is my update on Final Fantasy VII Remake. If you were on the fence, I recommend take the plunge. If the gill is in the bank account, by all means. And there is a character called Chadley, and that's really just the selling point for me. Chadley. We were looking for names for our baby boy that's on the way.
Yes.
I think Chadley
is a contender.
It's a dark horse making a charge.
Oh, no. Okay. Because we have so many games from this week, especially with so many new releases, let's put a break here and come back, and then I can tell you about what I've been getting stuck into this week right after this.
You're listening to the Gaming Lovers Podcast. Want to join the conversation? Visit thegaminglovers.com. Record your comment or question by clicking on the button on the right-hand side, and you could be featured in the next podcast.
You know, I honestly thought I'd have more time with the PlayStation, but of course, all these games come out that then you're like, okay, I'm going to go play this, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, we may make the mistake occasionally to lean too much on our PlayStation 4 because when a new game comes out, well, Persona 5 Royal only.
That's an exclusive.
PlayStation 4. Final Fantasy 7
That's
Remake. PlayStation
exclusive.
4 first, for sure. So there is a bit of a choke point, a bit of a bottleneck in our gaming.
Yes. So that's why Animal Crossing has been helpful for those brief moments of overlap, unless you take that to work with you. But
Which I've done.
several times. My primary game, though, has been Persona 5 Royal. And last time I think I said I was kind of partway through Kamoshida's Castle Palace. I've officially beaten that and seen the story and the fallout, and we've moved on. So we're kind of in that in-between zone when we're about to get introduced to
the next big bad. Yes.
But they've added a few elements that has slowed my progress down.
In a good way or a bad way?
Yeah, I don't know. Part of me is like, I feel like I have to explore some of these things to get the items or build up and stuff like that. That comes along with it. So they have these battle modes. You can go into the Velvet Room and do like battles with your current team. Whoever you had last time that you were either in a castle or you were in Mementos, you have whoever you last had on your team is who you're in there with, and it's kind of arena-ish.
Should I be singing the Velvet Room theme as backing music while you're explaining this?
It's really distracting. I can't concentrate.
Just trying to set the mood.
Oh, dear. So I haven't done that much, but they've added a few different things that feel a bit arcadey. And I haven't decided whether they're really worth my time or not, but because I am using a guide to get the most out of it and to make sure that now that they've added a new semester and another character that I don't run out of time to get all those social links done, and they're telling me, oh, go do this. And I'm like, what is that? I don't know what that is. And So there's a little bit of adjusting of that gameplay. It's not a bad thing. It's just a new thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but it has been nice. It's weird. Compared to the first time we played Persona 5 in particular, we had not been to Japan. And when we had to navigate Shibuya Station in particular, and you're trying to figure out which area connects to which gate.
That is a nightmare in the game.
You spend so
and
long getting
somewhat
around to
in real life as well.
Oh, yes. But now that we've been there in real life and that we've played the game, I knew where I was going and I knew what to look for. And they don't say JR like they do in real life with the JR lines in Tokyo, which is what most foreigners will use with the JR passes that they have. But they say JL, and I'm like, I know that gate, and I know that gate.
Yeah, it's funny when games use real life locations that you can somewhat navigate your way around.
Mm-hmm. Virtual tourism, right? And there's Hachiko there, and the Central Street in Shibuya, which we've walked through, and so it just brings back so much nostalgia, and I'm like, makes me want to travel, which I legally can't do now at the moment anyway.
Stay indoors, Jim.
But my goodness, flights I'm kind of hoping will be like really cheap once this is all said and done, and we can maybe go travel with a bub. That would be different. But anyways, so I haven't made huge story progress at the moment. It's just been more getting used to new mechanics that they've introduced to the game.
But still enjoying?
Yes.
Still 2 thumbs up?
Oh yeah, I mean it's a great game. It is one of my favorites. Probably one of my favorites in the whole Persona series as well. It's got a solid cast, and I'm enjoying the new character that they've introduced, the little bits that I've seen her. So I'm interested to see where her story goes and how that develops.
Very cool.
Yay! Before we get to Resi,
Yes.
there has been one thing that we did this week that was a little bit different for us, and that was playing with friends online. Not something we really do. Or that I've done. You've done with your buddy the Falcon.
Yeah, but I'm more of a one-on-one online player. Because usually I prefer cooperative games in the campaign scenario if possible.
Yep.
Working through an entire journey, step by step with one other person. That is how I like my online gaming. But with this entire world situation and people having to remain at home, more of our friends and family have started to lean on how can we hang out. Normally we get together on the couch and we play some games and we laugh and we have a good time. This is what we do. It's how we bond with our friends and our family. So there have been more in our sphere that have collectively gotten online gaming subscriptions to allow us to play things like Overcooked, or to use the share play function on the PS4. And we have had some family Overcooked.
Yes.
And how was that?
Entertaining. A lot of laughs, which was nice to be able to at least hear everyone and be silly together was really, really good. I think, if online gaming is going to be like that, then playing with people that I know and that I can be silly with would make me enjoy the experience far more than playing against strangers. But it was interesting because at the time, Mel and Steve, they didn't have PlayStation Plus, so they could watch, but they couldn't participate. And so it was kind of amusing hearing Mel try to give instructions to other people.
The resident Overcooked masters.
Yes, going, you should be doing this, and kind of like being like the I'm not going to say dictator, the director. That's a nicer, gentler term. Kind of directing traffic, and especially because Nat and her friend Christy just don't play Overcooked as much. So there were times they were literally standing there doing nothing, and I'm dashing around them going, why aren't you doing this?
So Mel was there being constructive, trying to assist the team, while myself and the good brother were pretty much just singing "Burn It Down" every time an oven or a hot plate got in danger of exploding into flames.
Yes.
That was our excitement. We were hoping for chaos.
You guys kept getting mad at me anytime I rescued something in the last minute. You're like, no.
Burn it down. It was fun. It was fun.
It was fun. And since then, we have made sure that Mel and Steve have access to PlayStation Plus, so now they can join us too. So we can have even more Overcooked fun and possibly some other games, depending on what we all have in common.
Yes.
That seems to be the key factor.
I was thinking about that because Nat has started Diablo 3, a RPG, isometric view, and just thinking of that angle and that style of game, you could do a campaign of Divinity with her as well.
Possibly. As long as we don't get frustrated at a similar point.
No, I know you got angry at me in that game, so I just wanted to have someone else be frustrated with my buffoonery setting off traps everywhere. Good fun. There'll be more exciting adventures of not only the gaming lovers, Brendo and Jem, but our surrounding circle of friends and family on this podcast. And
For sure.
thanks to the wonders of online connectivity and thanks to the wonders of SharePlay, allowing our PlayStation to beam a direct stream to another PlayStation elsewhere in a different suburb, myself and the good brother, Mr. Steve, El Bueno Hombre himself, we got to experience together my birthday gift from him, Resident Evil 3 Remake. And it was good. Using the share play function allowed me to play and him to watch from a different house, which was just incredible. Voice chat. It was like if I had a stuffed mannequin next to me in his clothes. It would be not only creepy, but it would be just like he was there. And we could still crack jokes when things were funny. We could still shout out in fear. He got jump scared from a different suburb. That's fantastic. And I didn't even really know SharePlay existed in this fully formed function until just recently.
Isn't it such a nice thing? There's all these functions like with Netflix where you can watch together. A thing that was around before everyone was told to stay, self-isolated. And suddenly everyone's like, oh, look what Netflix has added. It's like, well,
This has been
it's been around for a while. No one's cared about it until now when you need that extra level of connection and feeling like you can still enjoy entertainment with your friends and family.
Yep.
So I'm grateful for the age in which we live that, there are worse things than being told to stay home when you do have access to this stuff.
Yeah.
As far as Resident Evil 3, have you only done that so far? Or was it the multiplayer or the single player campaign you were doing?
We were doing the single player campaign.
Yep.
Resident Evil 3, one of the founding pillars of the friendship of Brendo and the good brother. And so way back in the 90s and early 2000s, this was a important game. One of the first times I ever phoned his house using a landline, how archaic, was to inform him that I had unlocked something, I had achieved something in Resident Evil 3. Prior to that, he was more friend of a friend. And Resident Evil 3 was so important, the remake was coming out on my birthday month that of course we were going to get it launch day, of course we were going to play it, but no, it was his son's birthday, so of course that plan went out the window. Thank you. But shortly after, we did experience the first few hours, and it is much more action-orientated than the last remake, Resident Evil 2 Remake. Much more action. Much more action.
And are you guys going to try to do the multiplayer together?
That would require him to have a copy of the game, so we will see how we enjoy it. I do know that on the other side of my affections, my good buddy the Falcon has been playing Resident Evil 3.
So you two can play it.
Seen him unlock some trophies. We could play that. It is something I'm interested in. I love the fact that as the survivors in that Resident Evil Resistance multiplayer component, you are basically, if you're the survivor team, it's half Resident Evil, half escape room. My goodness. And if you play as the mastermind, you're the one pulling the strings and putting traps and trying to time enemy spawns to maximize other person's suffering.
I would have fun with that.
Yes, you would.
I wouldn't want to be one of the people in the the game, but I would be the mastermind quite gladly.
You can track them with cameras. You can directly control monsters and zombies if you want to. I'm excited to try that. I'm, like, as I said before, not a big multiplayer gamer, but this sounds like a lot of fun. If it works well, I've heard some conflicting reports, but if it all clicks, I hear it is fantastic and enjoyable, and it will be good. But Resident Evil 3, the follow-up, Resident Evil 2 Remake, don't forget, was my runner-up in the Golden Smoochie department last year. My second favourite game of the year, so this is my favourite type of sequel. More of the same, just a little bit different, and that's all I wanted.
Just better not have another new game that you really want to play come out suddenly that you're going to then drop it.
That's right. No, I'm done. I am locked down. I'm not purchasing any more games, but I did see that Dark Souls 3 is on sale on the PlayStation Network. $13. I might buy that. You won't see it at that price again. Not falling for that again. Resident Evil 2, awesome, which meant Resident Evil 3, more of the same gameplay, and I was on board from the get-go. I love Nemesis. I hate Nemesis. It's so good. It's been very good. It's been very good. I'm sure you get that from the excitement. Why am I so excited?
Don't know.
I started off this episode so mellow and chill, and now I'm just pumped to go play all these games again.
But which one?
That is the question. I've got remakes coming out of my
How
holes.
close were you to finishing Death Stranding?
Less than a quarter to go, for sure. Oh. They had the last big goal within reach, but it was going to be an arduous journey.
Yes.
So I wanted to allocate enough time for it.
And we all know that it's got a long movie-length cutscene at the end. So,
Yes.
I mean, there is that, but...
Thankfully, the thing that slowed me down the most early on was the stealth sneakies. You got the BTs floating around. You don't know where they are half the time. If they grab you, it's going to slow you down further. But I found, once you get those blood grenades, load up on them, load up on your blood packs, and give a little scan while stationary with BB, and you will see them, and you can just chuck grenades at them, and if they scream really high-pitchedly and start floating up towards the sky, that is that BT out of the equation permanently. Very helpful to make the progress through those areas a lot quicker. And I have heard some feedback recently that was a problem for someone, so I thought I'd just bless you with some nuggets of wisdom and blood grenades and poo grenades.
Okay. Lovely.
That's pretty much it for gaming goals, though.
Yes.
That is a chunky
Gaming goals.
gaming goals.
We'll be back right after this with more news on the gaming industry being impacted as this pandemic continues to sweep the globe, and some funny anecdotes of adventures in buying these new release games.
Share the love. Follow us on Twitter at BrendoGem. That's BrendoJem.
So amusingly, after we had already received Persona 5 Royal early, I was floating around my local video game store hoping to get some hints that other games would be following suit. And yes, indeed, Final Fantasy VII Remake did 9 days early. That's a dramatic pre-release. That's incredible. But while I was asking this staff member with the hopes and hints that both Final Fantasy VII Remake and Resident Evil 3 Remake might be available today, no, not quite, not quite. He was saying that overall, business is still pretty good for the video game industry. For the sellers, these major stores, this was obviously based in Melbourne, the premier store of the EB Games franchise in Victoria, the state we live in. But he said, whether it's because of these big games all launching, we got Doom Eternal in addition to all the games we just talked about, this year for games was going to be on track to be one of the all-time greats, I think.
Yep.
And now that's a little bit in question.
Yes.
Because we have gotten some sad news that The Last of Us Part 2 has been indefinitely delayed. The game is basically complete, but with this current world situation, the economics, the logistics of shipping it, of having it available to be purchased, is complicated. That's why Australia got Final Fantasy VII Remake so early, because it had to be sent out now or it may not be sent out ever.
Yes.
So talking to this chap, he was telling me that their sales, they hit above what they expected to hit in the month of March. And those estimates were made before everything started closing down, before all the panic buying of toilet paper began. And if you panic buy toilet paper, there's no money left for video games. So think carefully next time you go to hoard something. So it is encouraging, though, knowing that these games are still selling.
Yes.
And that makes me happy because this is a big unknown for the entire video game industry. The Last of Us delayed. All these other games supposed to be coming out later in the year. Cyberpunk could be affected. And of course, E3, the big gaming show of the year, has already been given the axe. But there may be hope in the month of June.
That's right. In June, IGN has announced their Summer of Gaming event. Or, for those of us
It won't be our summer
on the other side of
game.
the world, it will be winter gaming. They're going to be collaborating with a number of partners from Square Enix to 2K, Sega, Bandai, Namco, Amazon, Google Stadia. Woo! Winning! Even Twitter. There's just so many people jumping on board. For an industry that I think is a little bit ahead of the curve, I believe that there are many developers that kind of already work from home already, at least a little bit. So adjusting the status quo isn't as hard as it has been for some other industries that have had to almost just rebuild the way they do everything.
Yeah.
I feel like that this industry is not going to be hit as hard, that it is better at adapting to this kind of stuff. And also, we're used to games being delayed.
Hey, we had a whole episode about it not too long ago.
I know.
E3, part of the appeal of E3 is that all the people, it used to be just the press, and now it was open partly to the public. You get your hands on these games, but it's not as important these days to see how a game is progressing because we have the internet. We can share videos. And this is going to be the other side of what E3 was going to be. We're going to have publisher presentations. We're going to have some live broadcasts, some on-demand videos. We're going to have all sorts of updates on big games coming, probably a whole lot new announcements. We've got the new consoles on the horizon. We're still on track to get a whole lot of video game goodies this June. And IGN have been around for a long time. They've got the resources, they've got the platform, they've got the fan base. This has me excited again. After hearing that E3 was gone for 2020, the summer, or winter, of gaming should be bright indeed. And if it's winter, it's because the sun's reflecting off the glaciers.
I think the only thing that would be, aside from smaller developers and things having to shut down possibly, anything that would be a big risk, not just for the gaming industry, but for the economy as a whole, are people that have lost their jobs and just can't afford to do anything except but look after the essentials, you know what I mean? And in an industry where gaming is a luxury, especially in these kind of times.
Yeah, for sure.
For those of us that do have the ability to keep supporting businesses and kind of help keep industries afloat while everyone else is just doing what they can to get by, part of me feels like it's a little bit of extra responsibility to support businesses that I love.
Oh, there you go. So you were blaming me for buying too many games. I was just helping.
I wasn't blaming
the
you
industry.
for buying them. I'm blaming you for dropping games you haven't finished yet. That was all. But for us, from things as simple as buying more local cuisine of late, kind of trying to support small restaurants that have had to go to delivery only and stuff like that. We've tried to look up places that are in our suburb and just say, okay, let's help these guys out.
Yeah.
Instead of making dinner ourselves, we'll, buy from this place and get it delivered and feel like we're chipping in and keeping them going.
Yeah, I wonder if the big companies will take more indie studios under their wings during this
Possibly.
time to keep them afloat.
It would be a shame if they dropped them to keep their own places afloat, though, too. So there is that risk.
There's a lot of questions, and hopefully we'll learn some more answers in June.
Absolutely. It's one of those wait and see kind of things. We got to take it day by day and prepare for the worst. We really want all of our favourite developers to kind of come out through this and to survive. So we're going to do our parts as best we can from our little place here in Melbourne, Australia. And we hope that you're able to do the same, and we hope that you're well and safe and that things are good.
Share the love. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Gaming Lovers.
We have got our work cut out for us in our gaming goals for this upcoming week. I have got not many days off by the time we record the next episode, so I have a very busy schedule, and I have 4 games on the burner. That's not good for me.
You added more to your log. So it's self-inflicted.
Yep. I did see a tweet that someone said, if you can't get through your backlog during this this situation, don't even bother, because this is the best opportunity you're going to get.
Well, to be fair, you're still an essential worker, so you haven't had less work like some people, which is a good thing. Like I'm grateful that, we have work.
Yeah.
I'm never going to take that for granted,
For sure.
especially now. But I've had a lot of work too. I recorded and edited a whole audiobook last week, so it's been busy. And I'm grateful for that. Part of me wants to try to enjoy as much gaming as I can before this baby arrives, because I know I will really not have time for quite a while. That said, Animal Crossing might be a bit of a sanity saver for those late nights.
Yeah. So let's set some goals. Let's set some gaming goals.
Yes.
For this week, up until the official launch of Final Fantasy VII Remake, I want to maximize my head start. And I think I will be playing primarily Final Fantasy VII Remake until everyone else gets their hands on it as well. Just so I can say, well, I got 15 hours into it before you even started.
I had the opportunity to do that with Persona 5 Royal, and I think I played maybe 6 hours.
Still a lot.
Yeah, but
The game only came out 2 days before launch.
Even so, I'm like, had I been in the right headspace and had the time, there are game sessions I've been able to do much longer than that, and it just feels like, comparatively like that, I haven't been able to concentrate on a game like that in a really long time. So I don't know, but I'm enjoying it, and I'm not going to rush through it, but I do need to finish it before June.
That's the key. Death Stranding, I was enjoying playing at my own pace. Final Fantasy VII Remake, as much as I want to get through it as much as I can while no one else has it, I am enjoying taking it at my own pace. I don't want to rush through any of these games. And that means they take some time, which means your progress is a little slower. But we will see. I'm going to play at least another, what did I say I've played? 6 or 8 hours? 8 hours? I'm going to try to do another 8 hours this week. I don't know if I'll be able to squeeze that in, but I will try my best. And because this game's so different to the original, I don't even know where that 8 hours will take me. Possibly not even to the next plot point. Who knows? There's new stuff. So what are you targeting this week? What's your goal? What are you setting?
Actual goal.
Your actual goal.
For Persona 5 Royal, my goal will be to meet the new party member and hopefully get started in unveiling the next palace that I have to take down. I don't know if mentioning who it is considered spoilers, because it's technically, the original game's been around for so long. I don't know if that...
Just give the code name.
Fox.
That's why they have code names, for this very reason.
Or
Fox.
So looking forward to getting stuck back into that again. And with Animal Crossing, I guess I want to try to get...
I guess I'll pick up some twigs and fish an egg out of a river. People are not happy with Bunny Day.
Oh, yes.
Yes, we forgot to mention that. Bunny Day is causing people to be very upset with Animal Crossing New Horizons.
It's only going to last a short while, guys. It'll be gone before you know it. I have yet to visit any other islands. I've never once used those miles tickets. So I think I'll do that once this week so I can say that I've done it.
Visit my island.
But also, my main job that I've been doing when I play Animal Crossing is building the infrastructure of this town.
Mm-hmm.
You've been busy inviting villagers. I've been busy building the shops and getting the materials and stuff for
they
that.
need housing.
Yes,
all.
I've been doing the furniture for all their houses, so I don't get paid enough to do those jobs in the game. I'm like, why am I not getting reimbursed for this? Anyways,
My only goal in Animal Crossing this week is to find and catch a tarantula, because I'm still yet to see one.
I haven't seen one
Unlike
either.
you, I haven't been playing in the evening.
Well, I don't know. I feel like there's something you have to plant or something you have to bump to trigger it. I haven't watched there's so many videos on YouTube of how to farm tarantulas and da-da-da. I haven't watched anything like that because I don't care about rushing through and making bells quickly.
Mm-hmm.
That's not my priority, but...
Yeah, that's why I set such a lofty goal.
of
Catch one spider.
and picking up twigs, the branches. Yeah, I think mostly though, my main overall goal is just to have fun and relax.
I think setting a specific goal in Animal Crossing is defeating the purpose of playing a game like Animal Crossing.
Totally.
So we might just leave that one blank.
Yep. Have fun.
Yep.
Relax. Enjoy the music. Go fishing.
The only other game I might play this week, depending on availability of myself and the good brother, is some more Resident Evil 3. We had about a 2-hour session last night. If we can replicate that, I don't think we'll be through the game. Apparently it is quite short by comparison to Resi 2. So 2 or 3 more sessions, we might be able to get the job done. But that's all depending on schedules and who's free when and when our darling wives will allow us to abandon them to hang out together over the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a variable. Another 2 hours would be beautiful, but not essential. Because every minute I'm away from all the other games, I have other games to play. So we've got to ration these video game minutes out. That's all I'm trying to say.
You've got to get them done before June.
Oh, yes, I do.
Because you will not be able to concentrate on anything super story heavy or anything that needs at
Brain
least
cells.
but also, certain games you can't really just sit down and play for like 5-10 minutes. Some of them require a good hour at least to be able to get the flow and enjoy that gaming experience.
So I can just ask the child politely to be quiet for a few hours?
That will not work.
Oh, I'm new at this.
There will be times I will be happy to let you play, but I think in those first few weeks, that will not be one of them.
No.
So
We'll
time's
see
ticking.
how that goes. Let's enjoy our games while they're here. Let's love our games while they're here, and let's be gaming lovers.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for joining us. Until next week. Bye, Nara.
Chowski. That was my best nemesis, and it was terrible. So I stopped halfway through to maintain my dignity.
Thanks for listening to the Gaming Lovers Podcast. For more episodes or to watch some live stream gaming, visit thegaminglovers.com.